Good evening, everyone. Rabbit, happy November 1st. Welcome to the select board meeting at 7 o'clock. We continue to meet virtually only in light because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So scooting down, we have a call to order at 7:01. And first up our normal announcements. Meetings of the Berlin Select Board are generally recorded for transmission on both the Berlin Cable Access channel and YouTube. Your voice, image, and or phone number may be recorded. And perfect timing, there are Scott's bells. All right, so we have first, you know what? It's either Scott's bells or in the summertime, it's the train because the window's open, so.
The train just went by.
Yeah. All right, so for the approval of the minutes, we have the October 25th open session and then October 28th, our coffee talk 10.0. Can you stand it? We've already done 10. Okay. All right, any questions, comments?
I was wondering if on the 25th, we should add something to the effect that we need to develop a bylaw for the Jake breaks. I think it was, I want to say number 2.
Yep.
Okay.
That is correct.
Yeah, because that was the biggest reason why we didn't pass it, not because we
Right.
oppose it, but because there was
It
no way
wasn't
to
a-
enforce it, even if we did put up the sign. And
Right,
it doesn't make sense to put up signs for things we can't enforce.
enforce, agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
But other than that, I would, with that addition, I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second. We've had some chitter chatter. Stone eye.
Hawkins, aye.
Keefe, aye.
There you go. All right. Was that for both or for just one of them?
That was for both, if that's all right.
I understood it to be both. So
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
just want to
if the
clarify.
recording shows differently, all of us believe that that's for both.
All right, so Mrs. Nardowitz, lovely color of your sweater, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. We are up to correspondence. Has there been any that has floated in?
Yes. I'll give you a key one here that we just received today. I haven't had a chance to read through the entire thing, but the Wheeler Pond Dam has been cited as unsafe by DCR's Office of Dam Safety.
Watch your language.
Really, what's your
Excuse me?
damn,
Damn
what's your
safe.
damn language?
Watch your damn language. Oh, gosh, here we go. So they have issued an immediate dam safety order. And I guess, so in March of 2021, they inspected the dam. This followed an inspection back from 2017 where action was required, but in 2021, they found that the action hadn't been taken. So they are listing several different orders pertaining to the inspection that they just did. They have set very firm timelines, including completing a controlled breach of the dam no later than November 30th of this year. They're going to have to engage an engineer to work with them on this, and they have fined the owners $5,000 for non-compliance of their order. So the town will be following this. However, this is not a public dam. This is a private dam, but correspondence will be issued to the Highway Department, Conservation Commission, Emergency Management Director, Fire Chief, and myself. So I will keep you posted as those steps are taken by the owners of the dam.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Sure.
Nothing else in the correspondence bucket? I don't see
Not that
anything.
I can, nothing there, nothing
Yep.
today that rises to that level, so.
Oh, boom, boom, damn level.
That rises to that level.
That rises to that level. Oh, wow. Wah,
Hey,
wah.
you're on
This
a
is-
roll.
I know, this is gonna be an interesting meeting. Okay. Next up are general public comments for the folks that are in the audience. If you have anything, raise your hand and we'll call on you and bring you to the front of the room. All right, we got nothing. So we are gonna chug chug boom boom along to the general department update. So if we could bring up Fred and Matt, who I think is a new highway guy.
Yes, he's here.
Okay,
Yay.
here's Fred.
Hi, Fred.
Hi,
Hello,
Fred.
good evening.
How are you? Nice to see you.
Wonderful.
Oh, there's Matt.
There's Matt.
There's
Hello, Matt.
Matt. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Okay.
Good. You?
Pretty good.
That's
All right,
good.
Fred, we're gonna turn it over to you. Report away.
All right, so last month we reported that the transmission repairs were made to the L7. It was returned back to us on the 18th, and it's working perfect once again, which is a blessing. We touched a little bit on the PSAF sampling for the water. We actually had a scare like a week ago. DEP sent out an email saying that we were going to be fined in compliance because we hadn't had our water tested yet. That was actually sent in error because we're not due until October of next year. Fantastic. And last month we had one person resign, one person get terminated. So that kind of like threw us for a loop last month. But now, as Matt is here, Matt is our new hire. He joined us on the 18th of October, and he's doing great. He came in, he jumped right in. He came with us, both licenses. So he has his hydraulic and his Class A CDL as well. And just recently, Dylan, he's stepping up. So he passed his hydraulic license and also just got his CDL permit. So he's on his way to getting his license finally.
This
One
is really
thing-
good news, Fred. If I could just interject, because as you know, the U.S. Transportation Bureau is going to be changing its rules on CDL training effective February of next year. And for those people who didn't already have active permits and licenses, they would be subject to all kinds of new training requirements. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's good.
I wanted to throw that in.
So earlier we did take possession of the new loader that was brought in to replace one of the old ones. That one kind of has left a bad omen because when we started using it, the hydraulic fluid was found to be going into the transmission. So the company had to come back and bring it back to the factory and repair it. And that was all, it was covered, it was a warranty item, and it was just a design fault where there was a rubber O-ring in the shared pump that had rolled, allowing the fluid to exchange. That too has been brought back to us and it's working like it should have when it first came. I just hope that doesn't lead up to everything else.
It.
Yeah, well, you never know. And currently we're working with Marianne from Maya on setting up some bucket truck safety training. Hopefully it's going to happen this month. She's still working on a date. It's going to be in joint with Northborough and a couple of the neighboring towns because Northborough is going to supply the bucket truck with an operator for the class. So at least that way, when ours arrives sometime in early spring, we can put it right to work. Hey, stop it.
Chris, I thought that was your dog.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Mine's been quiet, but has started biting my feet a couple times during the meeting already. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. Another hour of ignoring.
We got a zoo here.
Yeah, it's all good.
So that's one thing that we're working on right now. We started with the roadside mowing again. That came to a stop because then we had to start pothole patching to get caught up on that. Hopefully in the spring, if everything goes well, we can actually start doing some stop. This doesn't usually happen.
It's all good.
And then some other projects we did was actually from the different departments in town. We did some work in the police holding cells because they failed inspection. Like they always gig us on something, and it's always going to be the sinks, the toilets, and the floors. So we made some repairs along those, And we also helped out in the Council on Aging room to get some hooks put up so they could hang some miscellaneous medical equipment. And now that the 1870 is opening up, we have a big honey-do list to get done there, which we started plugging away on today. And a lot of it's just like general cleaning, minor maintenance stuff, and the same with the library. We do have Maura coming in now to help out with the cleaning end of things for that, so we can at least make them nice. I just passed in today the combined job description for the custodial services and the driver labor position that we hope to get for the highway. So hopefully that will get approved, marked up, approved, and then maybe get posted. We had some training classes that were attended this month. Dylan actually attended a couple of them. And we have a couple more in the makings for Dylan and Matt specific for the application of road salt and de-icing agents. So that should be coming up. One other thing, it's kind of a big thing. Margaret and I have been working on trying to get together a thing for the small bridge replacement, because one of our bridges on South Street is seriously deteriorating and really needs to be fixed. So that's kind of in the progress, early stages, very early stages. And it's not our issue, but there is a beaver issue on Allen Road at the railroad tracks culvert, just past number 88. I've reached out to the foreman a few times, spoke with them. They came out, tried to clear it. And we think what happened was when they came through to do their minor modification, that they knocked down some of the stones because it was a stone culvert, so it's really blocking it up. And they've been out off and on. We just have to find a permanent solution to get the water down because it's within 10 inches of coming up out of our basin. And it's actually flooding private property down on the edge of the road instead of going under the railroad tracks. So that's one thing that we've been in contact with the railroad for. And the biggest concern we have now coming into the winter months is a year ago Saturday, we already had snow. So it's not far away. We need to start prepping our fleet, get the plows on, get things ready. Actually show our two new hires really how to run the trucks and how to calibrate spreaders and things like that. And we're still putting together that list of spare plow drivers. Margaret, I did reach out to the two that you gave me. One of them responded like an hour ago. So we're just going to try to set something up so we can have him come in. That would be our Class B driver, the Class D.
Okay.
So that's still in the mix, plus the two that we already know that will be coming back. So we have them. But never fear, we will be ready. One way or another, we'll be ready for it. And just generally what we did during the month is now that the mowing finally slowed down a bit, now it's time to gear up to pick up the leaves. So we got a lot of leaves in the cemeteries to pick up along with spots down the South Commons. With Matt being hired, we were able to actually catch up. Matt did a lot of the oil services we needed done on the pickup trucks. So we could get those ready, and which was a super big help. And by him doing that, it allowed two of us to go out and fill the edges of the parking lot right there at the municipal center. We weren't able to put seed down because we missed that time of season. So we'll be freshening that back up in the springtime and hopefully get grass to grow. So it looks a little better down there. And like I said earlier, we just did the work at in the police cells along with the COA room. The library gutters were cleaned just before we had that monsoon that came through. And that brought up another point. So on the 27th, we had that substantial windstorm that came through town. I get up early that morning to go out and check the roads. Everything was fine. The minute the sun came up, everything went to hell. That's where we had a tree come down on River Road East and it hit a school.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst part of it all. We had one other road closed by a tree. The other road, first off, it wasn't closed because the tree was on private property. It took down the service lines. But when the National Grid supervisor got up there, he closed the road because he didn't think it was safe for the cars to be going under. So that's why we had 3 roads closed. But we had all the roads open, clear of trees for traffic by 10:30 in the morning. So that was a good thing. And I think that's all I have for last month. We didn't have any major impacts to the budget other than just regular things like Napa, things like that, local purchase. So that was good.
So Fred, which of the bridges on South Street is a problem?
It's the one that's, if you come down from the center of town and right as you start around the corner, it's the one basically right on the corner.
Is that the one by the alpaca farm?
It's the second one down from the alpaca farm.
Okay,
And you can actually feel it when you drive over it. You feel the bump, the thump. That's part of it.
oh boy.
And actually, earlier today, the Mass DOT were back down there looking at the first one that just basically has a corrugated cover on the top. That's the one that they were really focusing on because they thought one of the walls was coming out. So they come out every 6 months now to check that one and check the one that's in question. So while I was there, I had them go over some things with me. And it's actually worse than what it was because the pictures they took and supplied to us really didn't show a lot more of the steel that basically is not there anymore. But right now it's still rated on a 3, which means it's still usable. If they come out again in a few more months and find that now it's a 2, they notify us and the police department and they shut the road down. So
And
we're
then-
trying.
I know there, when they did the one closer to the post office, it was closed forever. I think it was because they were waiting for government funding.
Right.
And
What-
is that going to happen this time, do you think?
We're hoping not because we did miss, there was a small bridge grant program, but we missed the deadline because we didn't know this was actually happening. So one of the gentlemen today told me to reach out to his boss and explain how, you know, we're in the process of swapping people. And with the COVID, we didn't get our stuff done in time to see if maybe they could open it up just for maybe just a little bit to get us in. But if not, the hope is to get all the legwork done now and through the winter and maybe get the push on it in the springtime so we can get it done. I'm also going to see if we can, when we do sit down with the engineer that Margaret has reached out to see if the bridge can actually be changed to a box culvert, which would require less maintenance for us in the future. On the paper, it did show the bridge was built in 1900. It was rebuilt in 1975. So we definitely got some years out of it.
Yeah.
But we definitely need to focus on that like really quick.
Yeah.
I assured Fred that, you know, I think that if the federal infrastructure bill goes through, I think money is going to be funneling down to the states. And I think there's going to be another opportunity there. Also, with the engineering that Fred just mentioned, our Chapter 90 funds we qualify to use our Chapter 90 funds for that type of work. And that is perfectly appropriate type of work to use Chapter 94. So Fred would be coming back to the select board for approval to use those funds for engineering to get ready for any grant funding or any other funding that we might be able to tap.
Very good.
So Fred, I have a couple questions, but can you introduce Matt first to us? So Matt is our new highway guy.
Yes, I hope Matt has a camera.
He does.
Yeah, we see him.
All right, so I'd like everyone to introduce you to Matt. Matt came to us a little while ago and he's doing really good. He's a young guy, so I hope he stays around and learns as much as he can and maybe make a career out of it.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Welcome aboard, Matt, again.
Really,
Welcome, Matt.
Nice to meet you.
don't plow the end of my driveway in like Fred does, Matt. Just saying.
Hey, I got to keep you busy.
Yeah, you do. You do.
2 a.m. What else are you going to be doing?
And nothing, listening to the plow go up the road. Yeah.
Me?
No, yeah, you. Matt, very happy to have you aboard. Very, very happy. So, you know, you're in good hands with Fred and Jim and, you know, even Dylan. But if there's anything that you need, come on and ask. That's what we're here for. All right. So Fred, two questions for you, and maybe this might be a Margaret/Fred question, Fred on your honey-do list. Agriculture, have they been in touch with you about draining something down at the pipes at the community garden?
Yes, those were actually done this morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so the garden is all set. We reached out to Bobby Guile for the cemetery.
Yeah.
To see whether or not he was going to be draining the lines there, or if that was something we were going to do, but he didn't get back to us yet.
okay, all right. And then the never-ending chase on who owns the plugs in the center of town. I know when you came back last time, Fred, you said that there was like water dripping in the back, and June wanted to know who owned the plugs, and dear Lord, are they even safe to use? So I know that the Lions Club does want to use it for Berlin Christmas time, which is generally the beginning of the month. So we've got about a month. Any update on that?
Yes, I met with JMS Electrical, which is the electrician we use in town. He did come up and meet with me, and I just got his estimate yesterday.
Okay,
What he's hoping to do, if we do allot it, is he's going to replace all the GFI outlets, because he did find 2 of them were working and the rest were not. The one that had the cover, which was taken in the water, he's going to replace the covers, and there's a pipe that needs to be fixed. So that's kind of on the thing. We are still trying to figure out who actually owns the meter. Picture of it, and I sent it to in the accountant office. She was going to compare the meter reading to what they have for the bills, and see if we can find out who owns the meter.
okay,
It was turned up a little bit because there's 2 lights that around 24 hours a day that shine on the church. So I did speak with one person today to see if they could at least put a timer on it, so it shuts off during the day. We're not wasting it, and then obviously come on at night until we can figure that out.
Okay.
One of the things we did find out is we didn't know how long it's been out, but the flagpole uptown has been non-illuminated because there's no bulb in the fixture.
okay,
Even Bradley does know what kind of fixture it is, so he's going to try to find the bulb and get it back to us so we can at least get that going again.
okay.
So we can light that up.
Yeah, because flags have to be illuminated if they're up at night, correct?
Yes.
Supposed to be.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Awesome. Nice job, Mr. Fred. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Matt, anything to add? Comments, questions? Don't be scared. Go forth and plow and pick up leaves and all that other fun stuff. Okay.
Matt, what do you think of the town's equipment?
No, he doesn't have
Uh-oh.
his, he's shaking his head yes, so we'll just take
All
it
right,
as
that's
it's
a good sign.
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. All right, Fred, anything else we can do for you?
Not right now, but I'm sure once I hang up, there will be.
Okay,
Touch-
well, you know where to find Margaret.
Yes, you certainly do. You certainly do.
Awesome. All right, Mr. Fred, thank you so much. Appreciate you
All right.
being here. Matt, nice to
Thank
meet
you
you. Welcome
both.
aboard.
Thank
All
you.
right. Have a good
See you
night.
later.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
All right. Oh, okay. So, Mrs. Nodowitz, you are up for your town admin report.
Okay, so I'm just going to provide a couple of updates tonight, nothing too formal or lengthy. First of all, I think that we may have a couple of volunteers to help us with our website work. So I'm going to be meeting, I'm going to be meeting with a couple of people who do web design and things like that. So I'm going to be talking with them to see if there's potential there for some
Nice.
work. A reminder that the tax bills have gone out. Similar to the issue with people not having received the warrants, I believe there are people out there who have not yet received their tax bills. Unfortunately, that does not waive the requirement to pay your tax bills on time. So if anyone has not received their tax bills yet, please contact the Treasurer Collector's Office to find out the status, the amount, so you can proactively pay the tax bills without any late fees.
And if I may add, Margaret, to that,
Yes.
a reminder to those listening that actually late fees are imposed by the state requirements that really
Yes.
our tax collector, our accountant, the select board, the town administrator, none of us can waive or change late fees and penalties and interest.
Excellent.
That's all set by the state. And so, and the state law does not even try to contemplate late postal office. So get them in as quickly as you can. Drop them off at town
Abso-
offices if you can.
Absolutely. And Mary, that brings up another really good point. Mary, if it's not already on the website, we might want to get all that information out
Mhm.
on the website and Facebook and just make sure people are aware of that as we go along.
Yeah, there has been some chatter on Berlin Facebook, neighbors, based somebody like that, that people were asking about their tax bills, that they hadn't arrived. So the scuttle is already out there about where's my tax bill.
Yeah, mail has been very, very slow. So we're going to be, I think I've mentioned the intermunicipal agreement with Clinton on the bucket truck in past meetings. I'm going to be meeting with the Clinton Town Administrator and CMRPC on November 8th to start really working on the draft for execution by Berlin Select Board and Clinton Select Board, so we can be ready when that bucket truck is delivered. Actually, we need to be ready in the budget process for next year to make sure that the towns are paying their equal contributions toward maintenance. And then today is the FY23 capital request deadline. We've received probably a dozen or fewer capital requests for the coming year. One of the capital requests is one that I am submitting on behalf of the Capital Planning Committee. Capital Planning Committee is very interested in proceeding with a comprehensive facilities assessment, at least for our town buildings that have significant square footage. It would evaluate condition, use, reuse potential, and a possible disposition. I have not gotten a formal estimate on that yet, but I did locate another town's facilities assessment. They had 10 buildings evaluated. We have 13 buildings. So I'm looking at a price to be in the ballpark of what they spent. And those are my abbreviated updates for tonight.
All right. Scott, Chris, any other further questions for Mrs. Nardowitz?
Nope.
Not at the moment. I had a couple of quick ones that I've sent by email because they're not worthy of this time.
Okay. All right, Chris, you good?
Yep.
All right, so scooting down to old business. This was a holdover from last week, the letter of support for the Mass Green Future requested by the Climate Exchange Education and Research Group. Anyone have questions, comments, concerns?
If I may.
Mhm.
I have tried a couple times to read it. It's actually a fairly complicated bill, and there's a lot of great, let's say at least potential in it. Representative Kilcoyne is already a sponsor of it from what I could see on the state website. I don't think, as a whole, we tend not to get involved in too much legislation. I don't feel a particular need for us to write a letter one way or another on this at all. And we'd be fine with just calling this a day and not doing anything with it.
Okay. Well, is it something Meg's coming to us, what, in January?
Yes.
So, maybe we can throw it on our agenda for then and ask her any questions about it and then see if there's anything that we need to do, or if she's got it and we're good.
Okay, sounds good.
This, I just wanted to add that this act, I've also, breezed through the act, and this reminds me a lot of CPA, actually, the way it's written, especially the second part, where communities can opt in. So they would adopt local option statutes to be able to create a local fund that they would be able to use to fund green infrastructure and other projects. And that money would come from the state for, it looks like, fines imposed on non-compliance with emission standards and things like that. So it's interesting.
All right. So then I guess we're good. We'll hold until Meg shows up in a couple months. Down to the draft nuisance dangerous dog hearing procedures, the second reading. according to Margaret. All right, so, well, it's just kind of like, fit in there. So I know that you dropped it out in the agenda. I don't know if we need to show it or if you just need to speak to comments. Chris, Scott, I don't know if you had an opportunity to send your comments back to Margaret as well.
I thought as a whole, it was decent.
Yeah,
You're more the detail person.
I thought it was a good document, and it's a work in progress. So if there's anything we see that needs changed, we can always bring it to a meeting and change it.
There were a couple of comments. So Peg had submitted some comments that I responded to you. I shared that with I shared those with the board.
Mhm.
There were two areas that I felt actually could be edited right now, could take care of that. First of all, on page 1, there is a paragraph, it's a subparagraph E, that says the select board may or may not issue its determination on the night of the hearing. After reading that is at the board's discretion. It does not have to be there. It does not have to warn individuals that the board may or may not issue a determination on that evening. In fact, the statute is silent on that. And in fact, it is, I would actually advise that, especially for a dangerous dog hearing, that the board act swiftly after hearing all the testimony and reviewing all the evidence. So I would, if I was your TA at a time when there was a dog hearing before you, I would be advising you to be prepared and to move, to move swiftly on that. So that could actually be deleted. It doesn't have to be there. Section E, that
Which one
is.
is it?
See,
Section E?
I kind of like that section E because I think it's not as much for us, but for the people who are reading it you sent to, that we could be making a decision as early as that meeting.
Right.
I think some people might think that like they get to present something and we're going to go back and debate and they might have
It's-
2 or 3 more shots at the apple, but you're right.
Yeah.
I think especially on a dangerous dog, we're not going to want to wait. To do that.
No. And just for the public's information, the board typically wouldn't wait to make any determinations and issue
Right.
any orders on these types of hearings. So board's prerogative if you want to leave it in.
I mean, I don't feel strong. Maybe it's you want to word it more definitely is the select board is likely to make a decision on the same day or may decide to postpone. I mean, I'm not feeling strong about it.
Yeah. The other issue is I did add some clarifying language on page 5 under enforcement violations and penalties under dangerous dog. So in the 3rd paragraph, it needs to be made clear that the owner or the keeper of the dog would pay all costs for impoundment if the court affirms an order of euthanasia. So it is kind of narrow. It's not for any item. It's only if the court affirms an order of euthanasia. Otherwise, the board's decision to impound an animal is really to protect the public safety, and the town may have to pay the fees to do that.
I mean, other than that, Margaret, thank you for answering my questions, and apologies for the first one not coming through, but thank you for that.
No problem.
I mean, Scott, Chris, any further questions, comments? Are we ready to make a motion on this? Do you want to sit on it again?
No, I am fine with it being done. I don't know what more I would add or change another week because I'm one of those that like get us really close. Let's give it a couple of kicks of the tire. Like if we get one to have it go through and go, oh, that didn't work well. Let's change it at that point. So, or
Right.
that worked stunningly and we hit it out of the park the first time.
Yeah.
So I'd make a motion that we approve him.
And I'll second it.
All right.
With the changes?
With the changes. Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So motion and a second, lots of discussion, Stone eye.
Hawkins, aye.
Keefi.
There you go, Margaret, thanks for
Awesome.
taking care of this for us.
Yeah, the idea behind this is to provide guidance to the board as you move toward it, so that's good.
We
Thank
have it, hopefully we will never use it. So on to our special town meeting updates, if any, coming up 1 week from today. Whoop, whoop.
The only updates I have are that I've updated knowing that there's been an issue with delivery of warrants. I've updated the motions to include the summaries under each article. At least then people who attend town meeting will see what otherwise appeared on the warrant. So I've included that. And it's still in legal counsel's hands for review as to legal form and quantum vote requirements. Otherwise, everything is same as it was last week.
So Margaret, given the delay in mail, and I know that, I haven't received mine and stuff, are we going to make some hard copies available at Berlin Memorial, or is there a way to project a Word document up so people can see it?
I'll have to ask James. So our voting system has the ability to provide a brief summary of each article, so that would be available.
Okay.
We could provide copies of the warrants as well, and maybe we can make limited copies because those are much lengthier than the motion sheets.
Yep.
So we could do that. We could do that as well. And of course, it's on the website and it's been pushed out on Facebook. Oh,
Right.
Looks like Mary's got
Oh,
something.
we have
to
like
add.
200 extra copies.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we're good?
So
Cool. Okay.
I'd be
Let's do-
ecstatic if we had 200 people show up.
Yeah. Me too. All right. Well done, Margaret. Thank you for all your hard work
Okay,
on
the
that.
Finance
Yep.
Committee and Capital Planning Committee will be meeting this week and we'll fill in their recommendations on the motions.
Okay. All right, so if nothing else, we'll scoot down to new business. So I'm assuming that is why Mr. Shartner is here in the audience, is to talk about the notice of intent to appoint 2 part-time officers.
Woohoo!
Yes, and I have to apologize. One of the names was listed incorrectly. So I am giving you my notice of intent to appoint Neil Lefebvre as a part-time police officer at a step 1, $22.25 an hour, and Christopher Ledoux as a part-time patrol officer at a step 1, $22.25 an hour.
Great.
Nice. Eric, any comments on either part-time officer that we'll welcome to the town of Berlin?
Well, I think they both have small town backgrounds. Chris was actually my intern, I think 3 years ago. Currently works in the Neshoba Regional Valley Emergency Communications Center. Has a passion being in the police department. Has always picked Berlin. Great kid. Neil, I've known pretty much my entire life. Hardworking, and I think they're going to be a great addition to the town. You know, the whole process, I think we had about 80 applicants. We invited 17 to do a PAT test. 7 showed up and 7 passed. 6 came for interviews, and they ranked number 1 and number 2. So out of
Nice.
9 full-timers, 7 full-timers had their hands in the hiring process.
Nice.
Nice. That's good.
All right.
And then officially, if I understand the process, Mark, you give us a notice to hire, and if we don't say anything in 14 days, they become employees. But if we pass a motion right now, that process is sped up. So I would
Yes.
move that we approve Margaret's recommendation or intent to appoint these 2 part-time police officers.
Second,
All right. Motion in a second. Lots of chit chatter. Stone eye.
Hawkins, aye.
Keith, aye.
There you go.
Congratulations, the 2 part-time officers, and
Absolutely.
Eric.
And
Great that
Oh,
Eric,
we've gotten
yeah.
to add a few more people to your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric, thank you for bringing these people up. Resumes can say a lot, but if you have personal interaction with them,
Mhm.
it means more. So thank you for bringing them to our town and keeping us safe.
Eric, I'll talk to you tomorrow about getting the PAFs, the personnel action forms going.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. All
Awesome.
right. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Stay safe.
Thank you.
All right.
Good.
Who has got the squeaky toy? Is it Scott or is it
My-
Chris?
No, it is my dog that has successfully has ripped apart a toy that had like 10 of them in it. He rips it apart until he gets one that he can just play with all by itself. And I try to take it away from him before he starts swallowing plastic parts, but he hasn't yet. So on that one, it will go away as soon as the meeting is over.
Of course, no worries. All right, so Margaret, up to your recommendations for 2 alternate electrical inspectors with recommended inspection fee.
Yeah, we're still in the process of the pre-employment screening on both of these, but I did want, in order to expedite this and save a little time, I did want to present to you my notices of intent to appoint William Choate and Daniel Cushion as alternate wiring inspectors. You've also received the building commissioner's recommendation that the fees per inspection for the alternates be increased from $25 per inspection to $50 per inspection in order to assure that we're going to have alternate wiring inspectors that come and do the inspections. So I also have also presenting you that notice of intent to appoint. And a recommendation that the fees per inspection be increased to $50 per inspection.
Especially where Mr. Montero will be out of away
Yes.
next week. We need a couple people that we can tap just in case.
And that's what prompted this.
Okay.
I'm fine approving a recommendation with the contingency that they pass pre-employment screening and the $50 per inspection payments.
And I'll second that.
All right. There he is. He's
I'm
back.
still here.
All right. I know.
I was trying to grab the squeaky toy. It was on the floor for a second.
All right. No
A lot
worries.
of dog action tonight.
Really.
And it's not mine.
It's not
No,
yours.
no, it's not yours.
All right. Stone Eye.
Hawkins, aye.
Keith, aye.
There you go, Margaret.
Thank you very
Chaka-laka.
much.
All right. Next up is our Historical Commission member appointment.
That I am asking to hold until the board's next meeting or until such time as the Historical Commission submits its recommendation.
Okay. All right, so we'll drop that. I'll make a note. We'll drop it on next week's agenda come Thursday.
Okay.
All right.
We could do it Monday. Or
Oh,
we could if you've
Yeah.
had a meeting.
okay. All right. So we'll get it up on the agenda for Monday, just in case. Best to be prepared. Okay. What do we got coming up? Scoot. Approval of the Historical Commission request to release funding to proceed with final phase work as identified in the 2020 Bullard House Structural Survey.
So this is this is a small piece of work, $2,500 that Tim Walhuter of Squaw Hollow included after, well, kind of as part of the sill replacement project. This is going to provide access to allow a determination of the effectiveness of numerous rebuilds. I'm going to read from this, numerous rebuilds that have been done over the years. And the information would include condition of the remaining original material, suitability of timber, hardware, and masonry supports that have been added. I understand that Squaw Hollow will stick to that $2,500 quote. So I, in turn, recommend that the board approve the funding of $2,500 for this work. And by the way, the Historical Commission did vote unanimously for this.
I am so excited about the pace of stuff that's happening over the Bullard House these days. I think they're doing a lot of great work. I think that structural survey did help us sort of focus things up and give us a good list of things to work on. I am fine voting. I'm fine making the motion in favor of the recommendation.
And I'll second that.
And I saw a bulldozer there today, so was happy that something was going on. So I'll start. Stone Eye.
Hawkins, aye.
Keith, aye.
All right. Please thank Historical for us as they continue to plow forward with that. All right. Chugga boom. We are down to board questions, comments, liaison updates. Go.
Who would you like to go?
Well, Scott just did this.
I don't really have anything for today.
All right, Christine, you're up.
All right, well, I couldn't find my notes for the meeting that I went to, the regional school committee, but I'll try to remember what happened. The regional school committee did vote to rescind their request for the special town meetings, or special election, I should say, for themselves. And they'll just wait, I guess, until the next round of the November elections. and also April Stewart, is it?
Yes.
Okay, she and I were the two people that showed up from Berlin and Boylston to offer to do negotiations with the regional school committee and the teachers for another contract. And I guess I can say I lucked out. I got out of it. April offered to do it. We did try to share it, but their attorney said no. So then April said she would do it. So that's how it ended. And she's going to do the negotiations. I also went to a Council on Aging meeting. Victoria was telling the members that now her title is Council on Aging and Social Services Director, and explaining that to them. They're looking into a grab and go on November 19th at the town offices. The blood pressure clinic and the flu shot clinic is the first Thursday of every month, and the next one is November 4th at 10 a.m. They're looking for more advertisers for the Powder House News. And they're also looking for ideas for the who, what, where, when articles. If you have any ideas for them, please email Victoria or Bob Blair. And they'll be starting a crafting class. And the next meeting will be November 30th. And I believe that's it. I thought maybe the SOAR readers, you guys know what the SOAR readers are at the school?
Mm-mm.
It stands for something. I think it's seniors, something reading.
Readers.
Yes. Yes, something like that.
Senior, something,
There you
something
go.
reader. There you go.
And the kids, I think, read to the seniors. And so they get a
Aw.
chance to read out loud to seniors. And
Nice.
I think they're still doing it, and it's been going on for years. I just thought maybe it would be something that they might be able to interview the principal about, or maybe some of the readers even.
That'd
So
be nice.
that I was
That's a
going to
nice
let them know
idea.
about that. That was my idea. So anyway, that's
Good
all
idea.
I got.
All right, I have a couple. So RCAP, they sent me this lovely packet of information. So if you've had your well tested, probably expect a nice, I almost said vanilla, manila envelope in the mail, but it goes over records, brochures, manual, water test results, recommendations. So I haven't had a chance to deep dive on it, but very thorough. So again, thank you very much, Danielle, on this for the well assessment. So that is done. Last week, Margaret, during Coffee Talk, none of us could talk about it, but Anna Crane, oh crap, Eric's gone. Anna Crane brought up the issue again of speeding up and down Highland. So now that we can talk about it, can we do something? Get Eric back
Yes.
involved in it? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Do we need, Mary, I don't know, is there a meeting posted for November 9th in person for the police chief interview? Margaret, are we still on schedule for that?
You're still on schedule for that, and I will know more before the end of this week, so I'll keep you posted.
Okay, all right. And then just two quick things. So the event put on at the South Commons by Lions and the seniors and rec, phenomenal success. Tons of kids, lots of activity, folks donated stuff. There was, mummy wrapping contest. There was pumpkin decorating contest. So seemed to be well enjoyed by all, so well done. And then later on that night was the candy distribution. So here's your selectmen. Let's see if I can get that. That's what I sat there in the center of town looking like. Apologies to any kids that I scared the crap out of for that, and ended up taking the mask off several times as I did make some kids cry. So apologies.
Aw.
Well, they were scared. They were scared, but the parents were hysterical. They're like, "This is what Halloween's about." So no, well attended. So hats off to representatives from the Bullard House. You know, I did 1870, First Parish Church, Many Hands, 19 Carter, I think the library, EMS was down there, police was down there blocking off the roads, fire was down there. So parents dressed up. I saw, let's see, a unicorn, I think, went by, a dinosaur went by, and the guy from Ghostbusters, the big marshmallow fluff guy, who actually climbed up to the top of the stairs at the town hall, and then a bunch of kids sat in front of him and took a picture.
Stay
So
Puft Marshmallow Man.
that's who it was. It was Stay Puff. So, you know, I'm hearing lots of good things. So hopefully, you know, Rebecca, if you're listening and you want to do this again, sign me up. I'll be on the search for another costume. Can't guarantee, not as scary, but I will try my best. And
Scott, you had missed out, you know, in previous years. Peg used to come to the meeting and
Yeah.
you missed out, and she just didn't do it this year.
I thought about,
I don't think she did it last year either, because I was.
No,
a
I
select
did
board
not.
member last
I did
year
not.
too, so.
and you know what? And I was going to show up in my mask, but the friend that I borrowed the costume from, she came by today and picked it up. So that's why I had to do the show and tell on the phone. Or you know what? I would have opened the meeting in the Scream mask. Just saying.
This is all I
You know,
had.
See, we used a
I've
we
got
used a
magic
plague
wand.
mask here, so you know we could have had a really fun meeting. You in a Scream mask, me in a plague mask. You know, it'd all be fun.
This is true. This is true. Next year I'll go as like the COVID bubble with that. But no, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You could hear the kids. They seem to come in droves with that. So I don't know if it coincided with the stuff going up, you know, where you live, Scott. You know, maybe next year we can coordinate a little bit better. But well attended little ones, you know, up to 13 and 14-year-olds. So
Thanks to
I
your
think
neighborhood, Scott.
overlapping times. I think overlapping times are totally fine.
yeah.
One, there's just a limit to how much candy any one person needs anyway.
Mhm.
But we
Not
had
according to the kids.
This is
right.
true.
So
This is true.
according to adults,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
we had record crowds here as well. It seemed to start a little slower, which I just assumed people might have gone and hung out in the center of town before coming here, but
Mhm.
it was great. We went through 1.5 gallons of our adult hot chocolate, so we
Wow.
had things for adults as well here.
Nice.
So Scott, how many kids do you think you had at your house?
Well, so we had households that baked things that they said they had 80 items to give out, and they were gone by 7:15.
Wow. Good.
And the crowds got bigger after that. So we were thinking we got probably about 150 or so people stopping by.
Nice.
You know
And-
what? I
and
usually
we had a
I used to
neighbor-
have that many, and now they go up to Sawyer Hill.
Yep.
Right.
So on Halloween,
Sorry.
I had a total of, I think, two groups. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
And I
That's
believe we
okay.
had a neighbor, if I could do a shout out to her, to Kay Skoog, who actually was going around asking people if they were Berlin residents and reminding them of the town meeting on November 8th.
Well done.
Good.
Well done. Yeah.
And
No,
where'd you get your wand, Margaret?
Oh, someone gave it to me and said, use it as needed. And I said, okay.
Well,
I'll
someone was
remember
telling
that.
you- Who was telling you last week, I think, that you needed a magic wand?
Yes. And
Is that who?
it
gave
showed
to you?
up.
And
The
it showed
magic
up.
wand just showed up.
Well, good. You should be able to do all kinds of things with that.
I think
If you-
so.
If you ever need it, I have a
Oh.
can of Evil Go, so you can.
Can you please bring that to the, can you
Oh,
please bring
this
that
is
to the
fun.
town meeting next week and just leave it on the desk? Just leave it on the table.
Oh,
Awesome.
funny.
So are we all set for that, Margaret? We're gonna have like extra masks and
Oh.
things like that, just in case.
We will. Yeah, we'll have masks. The things aren't going to be individually bagged this time, but we will have a supply of masks at check-in. And people will ask to keep their masks on. I see a hand up in the audience. Janet has her hand
Janet.
up.
Mhm. All right, Miss Lamy.
I just wanted to let you know that SOAR stands for Seniors Outreach Assisting Reading at Berlin
Yeah.
Memorial, and it's grades 1 through 4.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And my mouse isn't working, so somebody has to undo whatever I need to do. Okay.
It's all good. All right, so on that note, I think we are good. We will see each other actually in person, but far apart on Monday, so looking forward to it. So I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Stone out.
Hawkins, aye.
Keep eye.
All right, great out. Thanks,
All
everyone.
right.
Take care.
All right,
Thanks,
good night,
everyone.
Talk to you soon.
everybody.
See you guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.